Mark. I'm Mark. Today's topic is education. Education is a thing I know a thing or two about, but I won't get into the details as to why. I just want to give you a bit of information about what the educational system looks like and what the problems are here in America. I did a little bit of research. Now, I'm in Miami-Dade County in Florida, and wherever you are, I suggest you do the same research. Took a look and see how much it costs to put a student in the public school system through that system on a yearly basis. Here's what I found. With an annual budget of about $6 billion per year and about 354,000 students circulating through the public school system, we're looking at about $17,400 per student per year to educate them. Now look at it in contrast to what, say, a Catholic school, a nearby Catholic school that actually does a great job of educating students. We'll get into the outcomes in just a second. But a private school costs a paying parent about $10,000, $11,000 in tuition per year. Now, of course, doesn't include the classroom set of books and I don't know, whatever else it is that the public school system gives. However, it does include a Class A education. Now say, all right, cost $11,000 in tuition, let's throw another $2,000 a year for books and supplies, another $500 for uniforms. Where are we? 13.5? I mean, even at that rate, if we could get the state government to pay at a rate of what, well, it costs a private school to operate, and with those private school outcomes, we can actually do better for our children and pay about 30% less in the long run. Now, let's talk about outcomes for just a second, just so that we can take a look and see what the contrasts really are. We just had a study come out recently that says about 50% of high school students in Florida graduate. Now, 50% is dismal, it's pathetic. Nevertheless, when you take a look at the grad rates for some of these private schools, these folks are graduating students at a rate above 90%. Not only that, these students are graduating with higher standards. They go out into the collegiate force with much better preparation, much more likely to be accepted into some of these schools. Every year, Belen Jesuit boasts about students that walk into the Ivy League, and they go and they do great, and they have some of the most amazing contributors to this community that have been graduates from this school. So solutions, well, I don't know. What do you think? In my opinion, I think the state should give me the option to use the public school system or not. If they can give me an $11,000 tax credit, and I will promise that none of my children will ever go into the public school system, then I think I would take that deal. I could apply that money towards sending my student to a private school. Doesn't have to be a Catholic one, could be a secular one. But the point is that I could send them out to ensure them a better education and a better future. Now, this will never happen. Why won't it happen? Well, because there are those in our community that don't make $11,000 a year. So giving them an $11,000 tax credit really won't do anything at all. What it boils down to is that some of us higher paid individuals pay a great deal of taxes to put the students and the children of those who don't make as much through a public school system. Now, here's my final offer, and I think that it is a good one. So now, if the state, whatever state, now if you folks out there in the government would just take a look at this information and see that you really don't know what the hell you're doing for multiple reasons. Government involvement will always lead to poor outcomes. Now, if you go ahead and take your budget per student, in Miami-Dade it's $17,000 and change, somewhere else it may be lower. You would just take 25% less of whatever it is you pay per student in your state and give it to anybody to go ahead and take that money per student, regardless of which student it is. Take that student, teach them, get them up and passing a high school level education. Set your standards high. Go ahead and say that 80% of your students, 90% of your students need to graduate. They need to graduate, and say the 70% of your students have to score above an 1100 on the SATs. I will guarantee you that there isn't a single private entrepreneur out there that wouldn't jump at this chance, unless of course they're not interested in education. But because I know, because of personal experience with a private education, I can tell you that this is a sweet deal for anybody. Go ahead and open up your coffers to the private sector. Give it a shot. Take one school in the county. Offer it to any private school owner and say, I want you to take on 3,000 kids over the course of the next 4 years. I want a 4-year average of 80%, 90% graduation rates. I want stellar SAT scores, or you lose your funding and the state takes over your school once more. I guarantee you that'll be the best school in the state before you can even blink an eye. Children are not the problem. Families are sometimes the problem, but you know what? If a family is the problem, you need a school that's interested in overcoming that problem. The only time the schools are interested and the people are interested is when they have some vested interest in it. Right now, because of government involvement, like with all government programs, people's vested interest is being squandered. Nobody actually cares. So let's put it back into people who actually care. And so what if that care and that concern is motivated by the love of money or the wish to get rich? There's nothing wrong with wanting to be rich. And if they can do something good, like educate our kids better than what the state is doing, then I say let them go for it. Well, that's just my opinion. I guess it's up to you now to decide whether I'm on the mark or not. You go ahead and leave me a comment, video response. I'd like to know what you think.